I hate to break the fishing news after Remchuk, but I'd like to speak about the ice hockey.
Congratulations, you're one of the 13 listeners of the Real Life Podcast.
We just traded a migraine in for like an orgasm.
Might want to mark that down.
Yep.
All of my projects are on schedule until they're not.
A member of the Nation Network of Podcasts.
About as funny as we're going to get today.
Welcome in, episode 186. It is 186. Episode 186. 187?
Yep.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I've got a running total, my friend.
Oh, fuck. I am so off with all these podcast episodes all the time. Hi, I'm Tyler Rumchuk. Welcome to episode 187 of the Real Life Podcast. That voice you just heard was Mr. Baggedmilk. That chewing you hear is Jay, who decided to wait until 1:15 when we record the podcast to eat his turkey sandwich. Hi, Jay.
I'm a busy man. I gotta multitask, else I won't get anything done.
Shortened squad today for the podcast because Wanye and Chalmers have real life jobs that often happen during the day, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday as things happen. So they couldn't take the hour off. They should be back next Monday. Next Monday, we're going to have an exciting guest as well. I'll give you that back towards the end of the podcast. We'll tease that a little bit before we get into our show today. Should let you know that, as always, we are brought to you by the fine folks at Japa Machinery. Japa's fleet, it's all ready for rental season. If you're looking for daily, weekly, monthly, earth-moving equipment rentals, Japa has you covered. Their fleet includes excavators, wheel loaders, compaction, and asphalt equipment. All machines are newer, cleaned, and maintained and supported by Japa's top-notch service. Japa Machinery. Check them out, japamachinery.com. Guys, I woke up today in a very, very good mood. One, because the weather was beautiful. Two, because there was sports for me to bet on. I haven't gotten too much into betting on Korean baseball. I've been iffy on UFC, but there's golf on today, and I've had it on all day. It is great to see North American sports, a North American sport that I love back. I must say, it's a little different. No crowds, no galleries or anything like that, but it's back, and that's certainly exciting to have live sports back.
Yeah, so before we started recording, we were talking a little bit about it. My question, Tyler, is so there's no gallery, obviously. There's nobody yelling the Baba Booies after tee shots and things like that. But what's it like to watch? Is it any different in terms of the production? I'm not really a big golf watcher, generally speaking.
Yeah, I'm not exactly a diehard, but I'd say I'm a golf fan. And for me, I can't tell any difference in the way the sport's being covered. The announcers sound the same, the shots, the camera angles, the trackers on the ball, all of that stuff is done the same. There's just not massive crowds of people around every hole. And like you said, there's not guys yelling whatever, light the candle or whatever they yell now. There's none of those guys, which is honestly kind of nice. It's like almost more peaceful to watch. So Jay, I don't know if you're a big golf guy at all, but will you be tuning into the Charles Schwab Open or Invitational?
So the Thursday and Friday rounds don't deserve my attention, but I am a Saturday and Sunday guy because that's when I'm in the right situation to consume it, because golf is meant to be consumed laying down on a couch. So I can't do that on the Thursday and Friday rounds. So I just kind of don't concern myself. Plus, I only want to cheer for the people that make the cut. So I am pumped to see that it's back. I'm curious as to know which dogs do you have in the fight this weekend?
Who do I got my money on? A few different. I've scattered it around a little. The only guy I put money on to outright win was Van Ruyen because he's 199 to 1 and I like a good underdog. And actually, he doesn't tee off yet, I think, for a couple minutes. But most of my money is on Justin Thomas to do various things, finish inside the top 20, finish inside the top 10. I have him to beat Ricky Fowler today. And at this point, it looks like he could do that. He's up by one stroke on him. So I got a little on the prop bets. I also found a prop bet that was no hole-in-one to be made all weekend. So I jumped all over that. So whenever they cut to
what
a
were the odds on that?
Plus 109.
What?
I know. I couldn't.
That's easy. That seems like easy money.
And these guys are coming off a layoff where they presumably haven't been golfing at a lot of real courses. They're not exactly in mid-season form. So I don't think anyone's dropping a hole-in-one at any point this weekend. So I'm hoping it's easy money.
Oh, geez. I hope you went heavy on that.
No, I actually went pretty light because I looked at it and I was like, am I stupid? Like, I don't think hole-in-ones happen that often. Then I looked around a bit and I'm like, no, they don't. But like maybe this course they're playing is like heavy. I couldn't understand why the books had it at plus 109. So I went a little bit light, like my standard betting unit on it. But for everything else, like Justin Thomas, man, every time they cut to Justin Thomas, I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm live streaming it right now while we record the podcast. So if I get a little distracted, that's the reason why. But I'm happy. I'm betting on sports again. It's a good day for your M Chuck.
I'm happy for you. It's just amazing. And you know what? I'm not going to say that everyone should gamble, but I'm also going to say everyone should gamble because just the heightened awareness it provides, and just every little thing you feel much more, like the amplification. Now, I don't want to flex, but you know what? I'm going to fucking flex. Do you want to hear my gambling story?
I do.
Oh, I thought you were going to flex on potting. I think you have 2 hole-in-ones?
Well, oh yeah. Well, I do have 2 hole-in-ones.
Really?
And counting. Oh yeah. Yep.
Holy shit.
Number 4 and number 11 at the Edmonton Country Club.
Wow.
One of which I did in the father-son golf tournament. So it was my turn to take the tee shot, drained it. Like your M Chuck, it's tough to make my dad smile, and he smiled. Chalmers dry humped me. Chalmers jumped on my back and dry humped me. It was a great night.
According to the before
JT
you move on,
just about holed one out of the bunker. Damn.
According to the PGA, just before you move on with your story, Jay, hole-in-one is scored an estimated once every 3,500 rounds.
Yeah.
Once every 3,500 rounds, there's a hole-in-one.
In the PGA or like just random golfers?
Let me explore. This is just their hole-in-one quick facts.
Okay, because if it's amongst golfers and I got plus 109 on this, are you kidding me? I should have been putting my whole bankroll on that.
According to the National Hole-in-One Registry, that's a thing that I learned existed today. The odds of an average golfer making a hole-in-one are about 12,000 to 1.
Wow.
The odds of a tour player getting a hole-in-one is about 3,000 to 1.
Okay, and there's a field of roughly...
You found an edge, man.
I think I did. I should have put more money on this. I'm actually kind of regretting
Yeah.
it.
That is, it's easy money, but obviously if you lose, it'd be devastating.
Yeah.
Now, hey,
I want to hear your flex.
back to me and my victory. I got to tell you about this big, epic gambling win.
Go ahead.
Oh, may I?
Yeah.
Please.
We're waiting.
So, I just received the fantastic news that my $400 bet that I placed on the Oilers to make the playoffs is being honored, and I have won $1,500.
Wow.
Yeah,
They're
nice.
honoring it before the play-in series.
Fucking go Oil, baby.
So now you got to go to Vegas to cash that thing?
No, this is done in Australia.
Oh.
I found the edge. It's in Australia.
Yeah,
That's
I
where
remember
it lives.
this. Wow. So 15 hundo. Are you putting it all on Nation Beer and a new Oilers jersey for the playoff run?
Well, so just before COVID hit, the Germans were here.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime we're hosting these groups, I'm just as excited as they are. So we go to the store. Next thing you know, I bought a Draisaitl and a Bear jersey. So I'm loaded. I've got so I pre-spent my winnings on the jerseys then. So yeah, I guess to answer your question, yes. So that was very, very, very exciting news. So I can safely say I made a bet on the Oilers and I won. Now where it's shitty is I don't know how to pronounce this guy's last name. Dom Luszczyszyn. Me and him made a bet. Me and him made a bet at the beginning of the season about the Oilers making the playoffs. And he's saying that he doesn't like I could call him on it for him to pay out, but he doesn't think it would be fair. So I'm torn on what I should do there.
You should just say that if the Oilers beat the Hawks, they're a playoff team.
Okay. Maybe
What's your bet for with Dom?
I bet him $100.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Because he did his whole projection model, and his projection had the Oilers still somehow missing the playoffs. He played out the season, and he said they lost like 11 of 12 or some dumb shit like that. Dom doesn't like the Oilers. But I think if they beat the Hawks, you have a legitimate reason to be like, nah, Dom, they're a playoff team.
That's fair. I'm going to fire back at him.
I think that's fair. If they get past Chicago, that is the NHL playoffs.
They're one of the final 16.
It's like you can't you can't change the details of the bet after the fact. And yeah, we're all going through a very strange time in terms of the pandemic that kind of wiped sports. It's crazy that tomorrow, speaking of which, is 3 months. It's been actually 3 months today since we last watched an Oilers game.
That's crazy.
But my point is, if they get past Chicago, they are in the dance. That's the dance.
That's 16 teams, man. That's the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. As Jay's eating, Jay, right now, yesterday we were doing Nation Happy Hour every Wednesday and Friday on Instagram at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Yesterday, Jay, I said on that broadcast that I thought my favorite Donair shop was closed.
Mm-hmm.
After we wrapped, I was starving. We were talking Donairs for an hour. I found them again on Skip the Dishes. They rose like a phoenix from the ashes.
Oh, you manifested it.
I did. It was beautiful, and I had a glorious Donair from my boy Sam's here on the West End, and I was so happy. So happy.
I'm happy to hear for you. That's a good story.
It was a great story. I tweeted about it, and I also found out there's some other West Enders that were also very excited to find out that Sam's is back. So big news in the Donair game.
Huge.
Excellent.
Okay, so we're talking about golf coming back, and there's a couple of things that I'm taking from that, and I'm building them into show topics, but you mentioned laying down is the best way to watch golf. When it's a nice Saturday, Sunday afternoon, you're sprawled out on the couch, maybe a little hungover, and it's a good napping sport, right? Because you can fall asleep at like 11, and if you wake up at, or 11 or 12, if you wake up at like 1 or 2, you're going to catch the good parts of the end of the golf. Over the last week, there's been announcements that live PD and cops have also been canceled. I consider those also to be solid napping sports, or napping shows. But my question to you guys, what is the best napping show? Best thing to have on the TV while you take a nap?
I got an easy answer here. I love. Wait, do I have to stick to sports? Am I allowed to pick anything?
You can do whatever you want.
Oh, perfect. Because I love nature shows. I love them. Mm-hmm. And BBC has got David Attenborough as their commentator for Planet Earth, Blue Planet, all of those. And his voice is like a sweet, sweet lullaby to me. And I'll throw that on the weekend, and out I go. And the best thing about Netflix is they just automatically play. So I'll wake up and I'm in a different part of the world looking at different animals and where I fell asleep. It is great. Planet Earth, nature documentaries, I love it. I have to second that. Very powerful, because sometimes I want to watch it to watch it, but I fall asleep 100 times out of 100. It is an immediate trigger because it's soothing, relaxing. So I support that. But to, I guess, give my own answer, the beauty about golf is if you fall asleep for an hour, you only miss 2 holes of action. Maybe 3, right? So you're not putting yourself behind the 8 ball there. So it's good for that. So there's 2 things, and these are both sports related, outside of obviously anything David Attenborough narrates. Sometimes really boring black and white historical documentaries. Sometimes I'll shut it down to. But when the Golf Channel was a thing,
it still is
at nighttime. Oh, is it? Oh, well, at nighttime back when I used to watch it to go to sleep, they would have black and white golf matches. They used to be called the Shell Wonderful World of Golf, and Gene Sarazen is playing against Ben Hogan or something crazy, old school, big. It was a black and white, and that stuff would shut me down all the time. But new age. Now this can only happen once in every 4 years, but I love watching World Cup soccer, but I also love sleeping to World Cup soccer.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good call too. That's a good call.
Yeah, the Olympics is a good one.
Soccer puts me to sleep. Oh yeah. Olympics is good depending on the sport. Yeah.
Well, Tyler, I don't know. Were you working for the Nation the last time we had a Winter Olympics? The Nation, we're big Winter Olympics people.
Mm-hmm.
Big Winter Olympics people. So I've had many a nap to the Olympics. I also want to give a shout out to just some mid-season Saturday afternoon baseball.
Yeah.
Oh,
you can throw a baseball game on, and Tyler, you said this before we started recording. Maybe you fall asleep in the first or second inning, and you pop back up in the 6th, 7th, 8th, and it's a close game, and you're like, all right, I'm at the business end of this baseball game. Let's go.
It's the ultimate win for me. I love when it's a Sunday Jays game that starts at 11. You know, like I said earlier, I'm usually, a little hungover, laying on the couch. Maybe I did something in the morning, but now I'm rested, laying on the couch, and you get first inning, second inning, then it's about noon, and you're done. Then you wake up at like 1:30, 1:45, and it's like, holy shit, the Jays are up 6-5. Let's see if they can close this out. Or in recent years, it's more like, holy shit, the Jays are down 8-4. Maybe we got to come back in them. But afternoon baseball and golf, for me, those are 1 and 2. They stand alone for programming to nap to.
What is flipping the question? What's the worst sport to nap to?
Monster truck.
I couldn't fall asleep. I was going to say hockey, but I've fallen asleep to hockey. Like if it's not an Oilers game, I can fall asleep to that.
Yeah.
But like I've fallen asleep watching the UFC before, and that's jarring.
Oh, because you wake up and it's 4 fights later, and you're like, what the hell's going on right now?
Or sometimes you'll wake up to like Joe Rogan freaking out, or like a crushing blow, and you hear kind of a slap or something, and it's jarring. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't think I could do
UFC people.
Hockey, I kind of agree with you. Like, it's a little bit more difficult for me to fall asleep to hockey because it's so fast paced, right? It keeps your attention, and really the only time you have to doze off is like commercial breaks or intermissions. But UFC would probably be up there for ones you don't want to watch falling asleep to.
I could also, I could also fall asleep to the NFL just because there's so much time in between plays.
Yeah, I could see dozing off there too.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of sports, for me, Family Guy, man. I fall asleep. Like if there's Family Guy on TV and I'm laying in bed watching it, I am out by the end of the episode every time. I've seen every episode so many times. I love watching the show still, even though I know all the jokes. But that's my go-to if I'm like, oh man, I want to watch something before I go to bed. Netflix, Family Guy, it's great. You can fall asleep at any point, not feel like you're missing anything of substance because the episodes are almost all the exact same anyways. And that's my go-to falling asleep TV is probably Family Guy.
I'm also curious what the 12, 13 listeners think. So if you're listening to this, Nation Real Life, Twitter and Instagram, I want to know what you're falling asleep to. I'm always looking for good nap opportunities.
Do people fall asleep listening to the Real Life podcast? I bet you there's some.
Absolutely.
Oh, we've had some real snoozers.
Absolutely. But you know what?
I think I've fallen asleep during the Real Life podcast.
If you are going to fall asleep to the Real Life podcast, please just keep it on loop so that we get them downloads up. Just let them run.
Yeah,
start to finish. Start at episode 1 and let's go.
Yeah, sleep through as many episodes as you can.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
The other thing that came out of me watching this golf tournament is no crowds. And obviously with golf, you don't need to pump in crowd noise. The sport is good enough to just be watched without the cheering and the yelling, like I said. But this, in combination with that video the Oilers put out the other day of Chase On and the crew skating on the ice at Rogers, and you notice how when they miss the net, that puck hitting the boards echoes in that big empty building. And every stick tap, all of that is picked up so clearly. So I sent out a tweet saying, this is exactly why the NHL needs to put crowd noise in for their broadcast. You do not want the sound of that puck echoing. You do not want every swear, everything the players say to each other being broadcasted on national TV. And I got some pushback on that. People were like, oh, I've been in rinks where Mike from Scuttlepuck, he's a friend of the show, we'll call him. He said he's been in rinks where they pump in crowd noise and it's distracting. It's stupid. But my argument is that's different. You're at home watching. You won't really know the difference. And he said, well, if I know there's not people there, I'm going to feel dumb watching it with crowd noise because I know there's not a crowd. But for me, I think...
feel dumb? That's so aggressive to say.
And also there's the idea that the NHL doesn't want to have clips of guys like Draisaitl and whoever the star players are. You don't want clips of them dropping F-bombs or whatever kind of terms they're throwing out there on the ice. You don't want that stuff getting broadcasted. That's a bad look for the NHL. And some people are saying, well, I'd pay extra to hear that stuff. And you might find it entertaining. And I would find it entertaining as well. But to sit there and be like, oh, I hope the NHL just does like no crowd noise, you hear everything. I think that's foolish, no?
I agree with you 1,000,000%. You've got to let the players, granted, they're using words you're allowed to say.
Sometimes they're not.
Well, but swearing is fine to me. So that's a word you're not allowed to say, on a children's program.
Mm-hmm.
So, you want the players to be able to say those things because that's also part of the game. Chirping's part of the game, so that would immediately remove it, and then players are going to be that are going to have to be thinking before they say anything. So it's adding a whole new element and complication to what they're doing. Just let them play hockey, pipe in noise. I also want it for a bit of atmosphere, anyways. And I couldn't agree with you anymore.
I feel like that would be a stressful job with no fans in the stands whatsoever, deciding when to crank up the crowd noise.
Yeah, and like it'd be interesting to see how they did it, right? Like, could you do something where you go to the people who make NHL 20, EA Sports, and could you be like, hey, build us a program where we can just have 3 different faders and a couple buttons for goals and all that, and we control the crowd noise that way? Like, I don't know exactly how it would be done, but it's certainly got to be possible. And again, from like a league perspective, I think the last thing you want is a couple players saying a few words that they shouldn't, and that taking over the headlines, not your actual sport.
Maybe they go NBA style and have some music playing.
Are you worried that would mess with the actual game too much, though?
I mean, not really. I'm not worried about it, but maybe from a player's perspective, I could see why you would say that, but maybe they have to do something weird like that.
Like, does a player want to be coming in on a breakaway while like Snoop Dogg's playing in the background? I feel like that might be a little weird.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you got Drop It Like It's Hot coming on when you're breaking out, I'm all for it.
Would you be?
Well, I'd feel pressure to score because you got to score on that song.
You got to.
I don't know.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be weird. There's no doubt that it's going to be weird. I think that, but I also think that no matter what they do, all of us are going to adjust to it very, very quickly. We'll all fire out the tweets in the first period of the first game going like, this is so bizarre. I can't believe this is happening. And then by the third period, we're yelling at the refs again.
Yeah, 100%.
I wonder what the adjustment will be like for the players too, though. Because, think of the playoffs. Go back, watch any playoff game. Watch the highlights. The goal celebrations are nuts. Guys are losing their minds. I wonder if it'll be like that too, where for the first game or so, it's maybe not quite the same for the players who are scoring those big goals. Will the celebrations be a little bit subdued? And then maybe by like game 3 or 4, it's just like, man, they've gotten used to they're just out there competing their asses off. And when they score a big goal, they're just as fired up as they would be with 18,000 people in the stands. That's interesting for me.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going to be an adjustment for them as well. So I think you'll see it kind of phasing, but they will get locked in and they'll start playing and not even realize there's not fans there because they're just so into the moment of the competition. It will get to there, but initially they're going to be like aware and be like, this is weird, and just kind of go through the motions of playing. But it'll quickly become where they're locked in, and then you'll start seeing those raw emotions again.
It is almost, though, now that I'm putting some thought into it, it is almost unfair to the players. It kind of robs them a little bit of those huge moments. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I think about specifically, I was at the game against the San Jose Sharks in the 2017 playoffs when Oscar Klefbom rang one off the post and it went in to tie the game late. The place went bananas. It was crazy in there. It was so loud you couldn't hear the announcer announcing the goal of what just happened. So they are going to get robbed of all of that because no matter what, whether they pump in crowd noise or not, it's not going to be the same.
No, of course not. But it's just, I think everyone's just going to get to a point of acceptance and just roll with it.
Yep, I agree. Like I said, first period, we're all going to be tweeting about how weird it is. Third period, I'm going to be yelling at refs. And Surveyor Brett is going to be tweeting at me that it was a good call, and I'm going to get in a Twitter fight with Surveyor Brett because he doesn't know how to ref.
Baggedmilk, you made me sad there because I remember being at that game when Klefbom scored 2 and the noise, and as much as Rogers almost now gets a bad rap around here for being so quiet, like a library, not like the old rink. In that 2017 run, man, that place was just as bumping as any Edmonton rink has been, right? Like, Rogers got going for that 2017 run. And it sucks that we didn't get a chance to have that again this year.
Well, here's the thing, too, is Oilers fans, the library, I've been in Rogers Place where it's been very, very quiet as well. But during playoff time, this city comes alive and it is a different animal.
Yeah, we show up.
You cannot question the passion of Oilers fans in the playoffs. Like you said, 2017, ridiculous. I remember walking out of Ford Hall with thousands of people jumping up and down going, we want the cup. And then having Ford Hall wobbling and shaking and being like, is this this supposed like, can this happen? Is this supposed to happen? So, yeah, I feel bad for Oilers fans everywhere, but again, I think that we're going to get over it very quickly.
Well, we'll do different things. And you know what? I'm getting most excited about, and we're kind of talking a little bit about this before the show, is especially if, knock on wood, the trajectory keeps happening, phase 2 is happening, like, we're going to be able to throw a fucking nation party. And we're going to be able to throw a nation party in August and watch hockey.
And have a patio open.
It's going to be, and we're going to watch it on a patio outside. Like, that's going to be fucking awesome. In that atmosphere, it doesn't matter who's in the stands. That patio is going to be fucking melting with activity.
You should turn Little Brick into like a viewing area. Get like a projector and do like a lawn party.
Oh, we've toyed around with doing that, but we know we would, like, if anyone's been to Little Brick or patio, like there's a condo building right along.
An adult only condo, if I'm not mistaken. They would love it.
And granted, we are by law allowed to make noise up until 11 o'clock within a certain decibel level. But you know what? Maybe they'll buy in. Maybe they'll pull up their chairs from their balconies and watch the big screen. Who knows? Hockey brings everyone together, like playoff hockey. Like everyone is like best friends or high-fiving each other. Like, it doesn't matter. We're just delirious, crazy fans. So you never know. Maybe we can get the building on our side for once.
I'm thinking about now, and it didn't really clue in with me until you said it, Jay, but going to the Pint and watching a playoff game in August when we can be in like shorts and having beers on the patio and watching Connor McDavid do Connor McDavid things, like, that place will go nuts.
It's going to be unreal. It's going to be unreal. There's, like, if you want, let's pull the positive out of this. We're not going to be going to the building. There's going to be no, earthquake feeling, floor palpitations of Ford Hall, but we're going to be able to go to the Pint and watch, or first round, any other great establishment in the city as a community, and watch this on a patio outside. Is going to be such a unique experience. We're going to look back and talk about it because it's going to be special.
I agree. It's going to be special. I can't wait.
And the nation beer is going to be flowing. I'll tell you that much.
Which today, again, the NHL announced phase 3 kicks off on July 10th. So training camps are going to start on July 10th. So I'm also finding myself, even with minor announcements, obviously they put the caveat at the end of it, provided that health conditions or safety conditions are met for the players, the staff, et cetera, et cetera. But when these announcements come out, I just find myself getting more and more excited that this looks like it's going to happen. And then even just talking about, like, I said, I'm not a huge golf guy in terms of watching it on TV, but like, sports are starting to come back. Sports are back, kind of.
Yeah, and that was another reason why I woke up today and I was in a good mood. We got the announcement that July 10th was the date. And when they say, pending an agreement on the health and safety protocols and all that, I'm not worried about the league and the players when it comes to that. I think they're going to find an agreement. I think they're both motivated enough to get this thing done. And now that there's a date, that's kind of been my thing all along, is I was like, I was always hesitant. Even a week ago, I was kind of like, I'm still not 100% certain that this is all going to happen. But now that they have a date, now that they have circled July 10 as when training camps are probably going to open, and early August is when the season is going to start, and we're talking about being able to go to bars and watch the games and all that good stuff, I'm hyped for it now. Like you mentioned, Baggedmilk, when you said the sentence, and this was almost a turning point for me, when you said the sentence, sit and watch Connor McDavid do Connor McDavid stuff, I had a vision in my head of looking up at a Pint TV while he wheels wide and then cuts across to the other side and flips one over Corey Crawford's blocker. And I'm just like, man, I want that. And I want the bar to go nuts. And I want to be there with my buddies going nuts. And I'm excited now. I've officially turned the page of cautiously optimistic to full on stoked.
Maybe what they need to do is they need to mic up some bars and project that into the building.
You want to be worried about things people are saying. Drunk, delirious fans. Fuck.
That they're being projected to the rink.
Yeah, I mean, if you're miking up, say, 10 bars around the city, it would all just turn into a murmur until somebody scores. Although there could also be, because we're all watching on TV, the delayed reaction would also be hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, actually, that'd be the worst part. Is like a guy would score and it'd be like 8 seconds later while he's about to escape past the bench, the crowd would just go fucking nuts.
To your Remchuk's point, throughout all this time, the league hasn't really said anything concrete. The fact that they actually went public with a date is such a big step. Like, that's the thing where I'm like, shit, this could be actually happening. Like, before it was all kind of vague and this and that, and sure, phase 1, phase 2, blah, blah, but like the fact that they're like putting a date behind it just provides so much more. It's a more powerful statement, and like has derailed my entire day because of it. Because now I'm like, we've got to get fucking mobilized. We got to get ready. We got to start planning parties. Like, we got to start thinking this way, which is something like 2 weeks ago there was no fucking way. So I'm very excited.
So I wrote the 2 news items on Oilers Nation on Tuesday. I wrote the NHL is hopeful that they would be able to start training camps midway through July, but there was absolutely nothing concrete there. And then here we are 2 days later on Thursday of the same week, and they're like, yep, July 10th. Let's get ready to go.
Yeah, next minute.
It's exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
Tyler's moving around. He left the room. He's back now.
Sorry, I needed water.
I thought you got yourself a little treat, maybe.
No, I got my water, and then I've had a can of barbecue Pringles going through this whole podcast as well.
Well, I crushed a turkey sandwich, and I've got a 4-pack of Nation beer, of the new labeled Nation beer.
I'm excited for these. They look. You showed us on the FaceTime call. They look pretty sweet. Nation beer still available at real Canadian liquor stores, right? And more.
Yeah. So beer supplies, though, in our liquor store partners is very low to nothing. So thank you, everyone, for making that happen. But we just canned the new batch yesterday, hence why I've got this 4-pack on my desk. And guaranteed will be in liquor stores starting next week. So we've got a themed can. We're teasing it right now. It's pretty obvious what it is, but we don't care. Even in our teasing, because we're using black and white and not color. But super pumped, celebrating. It's a can that's celebrating something. And the other thing that today's announcement provides is we are now starting to think about what a playoff can label design is going to look like. So
I got an idea for it.
Ooh, do tell.
For the side slogan, because there was internet in a can. There's going to be another one on the new ones that are being released. And sorry, I didn't know how to phrase it without ruining it.
Carefully.
And then there's also going to be if there's a playoff can, how about party like it's 06?
You want to celebrate the past. Okay, perhaps.
I think that's a good one. Think back to the 06 Cup run, time of our lives type of thing.
Yeah, that's fair. Or
we could also just do the our playoff slogan, which is Mission 2020.
Yeah. Nice tease. Stay tuned for that to be more prevalent across our channels.
Sticking with Nation Beer, if you are looking for it and you want to know where you can buy it, you can go to liquorconnect.com. Liquorconnect.com and search up Nation Beer. It'll come up real nice. All the locations near you that are carrying it. So it'll be a nice little resource for you. Again, that's liquorconnect.com and just search for Nation Beer there.
I want to quickly shout out our friends at Dog Island, because I think they're getting excited too. And I think, together, and when I say together, I mean them, us, the community have done a great job to make Nation Beer what it is. So these guys, they just finished canning this next round. So they started doubling their production. They did a double batch, and that just got canned. And 2 days ago, they started a new double batch. Normally they wait. So we're gonna hopefully run through this supply and have more just in time for the end of the month. For those of you in the know, which is Baggedmilk and Tyler, why we'd want that. So very exciting month of June to see how that goes. So crazy, and I can't wait to crack one of these. I'm fighting the internal demons to not crush beers at 147.
Hey, man, it's a pandemic. You drink a beer at 147 if you want a beer at 147.
I might have a beer at 147. I think I need to get my hands on one more set of the original Nation beer ones, like the ones that are out in circulation right now, because I almost want to make them like a collector's wall. I want to get all the cans as they come out.
So that one will always be kind of the baseline that we go back towards. So don't worry about that. But we are going to, because like there's so much versatility or agility that we can have, we're just going to have themes here and there. So like playoffs is a theme. We're going to work on some other things. We've got a theme for this month, and just kind of, switch it up a little bit just to create the excitement. But the baseline will always be that orange.
Good. Those are sharp looking cans. On the topic of show sponsors, what's new at Oodle Noodle? Do we have another new charity or is there something else?
Yes, we do. So this week we are, 10% of our in-store sales are going to Zoe's Animal Rescue Society. So they do exactly that. They rescue animals. And right now is kind of a peak season for them where they have more. This is when they have the most animals in their facilities. So they need some help to take care of those animals and feed those animals. So the timing of this partnership is terrific. They're doing great things. And if you're looking to, rescue a pet, check out Zoe's because they do great things there. And then our food delivery or food charity partner this week is going to be iHuman. So they're one of the charities that they do a bunch of great things to support the community they work with. But feeding them is one of them. So we're going to be dropping off a bunch of food there tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Love Fridays. Fridays are charity food delivery Fridays. I love them.
Yeah, I think actually, again, pitching Nation Happy Hour, plugging Nation Happy Hour again. It's always fun just on Friday, just kind of seeing where you're at. We talk some donaires and we talk what Oodle Noodle's up to. It's nice. It's a nice little positive end to the week, I think.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'm looking forward. It was good to have the happy hour yesterday. It felt good. Look forward to tomorrow's. I'm going to be, I might be on location. I might be on my friend's driveway. We're going to have like a social distance driveway hang. So I might be coming live from a driveway.
I am actually going to do one of those tonight. And it's weird, but at some point it's also gotten normal just hanging out on a buddy's driveway.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice. You sit outside, you have a drink. It's kind of like you're on a patio, but not at all on a patio.
Yeah,
but it is cheaper.
The fire pit. Oh, it's way cheaper. But we even pull out a fire pit and put a fire pit in the middle of the driveway and have a driveway fire.
Oh, man. I would love to do that. I live in a townhouse where I don't have a yard, so I'm not able to have a fire pit. But, man, would I love that. That's what I'm missing. Some summer fires, beers around the fire. Love it.
We're probably going to have a driveway donaire, too. We'll see.
Anyone who knows me knows how much I love my rec league sports, right? So that's why the announcement that they made earlier this week that sports are 50, as long as it's 50 or less, you can have organized sports. That got me going. So tonight, I'm finding a ball diamond, me, my girlfriend, a couple other friends, bringing the bucket of balls, bringing some bats, and I'm going to get out on the diamond because slow pitch season's coming, and I'm beyond excited for that.
That's, what, it's ripping hot, nice day today too. So that's a great way just to even spend the evening. So good on you.
Yep, that'll be good. Okay, we got time for one more topic here on episode 187 of the Real Life Podcast. There were two that I wanted to go with, but I'm going to save one for Monday or maybe even next Thursday because Monday we got a guest coming on. But the one I wanted to float is with it. So it sounds like it's concrete. The NHL is going to come back. Training camps in July, season or playoffs picks up in early August. That will stretch until roughly October-ish, maybe into October. They're going to run a 50, 60, 70-day off season, a quick off season, and then start the next season in either late December or January of 2021. Basically, the timeline's all fucked up. Next season's going to run from January to July instead of September to June-ish, right? Would you be in favor, and this is something that's been thrown around a lot on Twitter recently, would you be in favor of the NHL moving its season permanently? Would you be a fan if the league said, hey, you know what, going forward, we're always going to run it December, January to July, end of July? Or do you hate the idea of hockey being a summer sport, quote unquote?
Well, there's some realities here. Like, our culture, we're just so conditioned to like the summers, like when we go away and go on vacation and all that. And I don't want to be away if my team, if the Oilers in the playoffs. Like, I want to be in the city. So that kind of disrupts me. But like there's also like the science. Like didn't Vegas get announced today as a hub city?
No, nothing's been announced. It's rumored that they are going to get it, but
there's been rumblings.
So Vegas, Dallas, Nashville, like 110 degree Fahrenheit, 43 degree, 45 degree heat. Like those facilities, like the ice is going to be shit.
Yeah.
So there's just like that reality. Like, am I excited right now to watch hockey in August? Yes, but there's like a huge circumstance as to why. I don't think I would be for it. Like, I get they have to kind of like phase it back just because, we have to be respectful of off seasons and all that and to get it back to like its normal. But I would prefer it be its normal swing of things, just because. And this is all personal. Well, two things. There's the science thing of I think the ice will be shit. Even in Edmonton, if it's 30 degrees in Edmonton, the ice isn't going to be good. And you open up that possibility. And then also like, it's just like North American culture where like summers where you go on vacation and like I don't want to do I don't want to go camping if I know there's an Oiler game going on in Edmonton.
I'm in the same boat as you.
Stress me out.
Yeah, like for me, and the other thing too, like cold snaps in November, December, they're made better when every second night there's an Oilers game you can watch for 2.5 hours, right? Like when it's cold and you can't go outside and enjoy our beautiful city, you want to be inside Rogers Place or inside your living room. And in the summer, there's so much stuff going on, Folk Fest, everything, Taste of Edmonton, all that. You don't want to be necessarily inside on your couch watching, although it would be playoff hockey, that's amazing. I don't want to be inside watching hockey at that point, especially if the Oilers are out. I don't want to be watching the Stanley Cup Finals in July. So I think they need to, as quickly as possible, get this thing back to September to June. I've always been an advocate for going a step further, and I would say get it from beginning September, end of May at the latest. But it'll take a few years to get there.
Oh, 100%, because you got to be respectful. And also think about the player lifestyle. Like, you don't want their player off season to be December, November, right? Because like they go back home. Like a lot of those players, right? They go back home. A lot of the Canadian guys that play in Tampa go back home. Like, let them have a summer and enjoy, friends and family in their cabins and all that. Like, there's also that kind of lifestyle element.
Guys with kids, their kids aren't in school in the summer. That off season's a perfect spot to spend time with your family. Yeah, I think you'd have a hard time, and I understand why people are maybe throwing it out there from a perspective of there's less competition and all that on the TV, on the sports calendar. But really, man, I think you're gonna have a hard time getting the PA to sign off on that.
Yep. Yeah.
I was trying to find an angle just so I was trying to channel my inner Chalmers and argue with you guys and say it doesn't matter, but I can't. I'm selfish. I'm selfish. I want to go to the lake. I want to go in Edmonton. We have 11 and a half months of winter and a very small window to go enjoy the outdoors. I fucking hate it. I want to go to the lake. I want to unplug. I want to go traveling. I want to take road trips. Like this summer, I had a plan of renting a camper van and I was going to drive up to Whitehorse. Me and Frank, I was going to hotspot with my laptop. It was going to be great because there's no hockey in the summer. But I don't want to do that in the winter.
Yeah, no, I don't think you do.
I'm trying to find ways that I can argue with you guys, but I just can't. That sucks. And yes, again, you said it. This is not normal, so they have to make adjustments to get an off season and all that. But man, I just really hope that this doesn't get extended for very long because my summers are important to me, and I don't care if I sound selfish right now.
I don't think you sound selfish. I think everyone would agree with you, honestly. And it's something where even down in the States, when you're trying to get viewers and all that, although the sports calendar might be less plugged up in July to hand out a Stanley Cup, I think you'd have a hard time getting people to go, yeah, I'll stay inside and watch this, a few years ago. Remember when it was New Jersey, LA? Like, that didn't do good ratings. I think it would do terrible ratings if it was played in late July on top of that, right?
Yeah, I mean, and again, you got to think of the players. The players want to go to cabins, cottages, travel, whatever they want to do. Nobody wants to do that when it's super cold. Nobody.
And we have to watch Big Brother.
Yes, which I'm still upset that there's not going to be a Big Brother this summer. Like I'm
Yeah,
right.
I thought they're saying there's going to be an All-Star season.
Hang on. I'm Googling because you just got me super excited. Somebody tweeted to me the other day that there was going to be no summer Big Brother.
I thought I saw some about them doing an All-Star season. It's just going to start later.
Oh yeah, so it could be delayed into the fall.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay,
well, that'll be our off season this year, so that works out.
It actually does work out perfectly, hey?
That'll work out all right. That's something else I missed.
Before we wrap up this episode, I want to tease what's coming up on Monday. I don't know how many people out there are familiar with the TV show Grownish. It's a spin-off of the TV show Blackish. But there is an actor on there who is an Edmonton product. He is an Oilers fan of the nation as well. Jordan Buhat. I really hope I'm saying his last name right. I definitely am. Buhat. Jordan Buhat. He's going to join us on Monday. I'm excited for this one. We've interviewed a lot of hockey people. We're supposed to, we're still waiting on potentially having Brett Kissel on one of these days as well. But I'm excited to talk about a guy like that who doesn't work in hockey or anything like that, being an Oilers fan, also learn a little bit about his industry as well. So Edmonton area actor Jordan Buhat. He's now on the TV show Grownish. He was also in Summer of '84. That came out back in 2018. We're going to chat with him a little bit. I'm excited for that on Monday.
And respect to him rocking the Keep Nuge Forever tee a lot on social media. A lot.
You and him are just going to talk about Nuge for like 20 minutes, and that'll be the whole interview. We'll run out of time.
I will tell you that he and I have been DMing each other for not often, but for a few months now, and it's always about Nuge. Always. This
will be fun. I'm excited for that on Monday.
Yeah, it'd be good to talk to him outside of just in DM mode.
All right, that's going to do it for another episode of the Real Life Podcast, episode 187, coming to a wrap. Brought to you by the fine folks at Japa. If you need extra support, whatever it is with your heavy equipment, if you need to get it up and running, give the fine folks at Japa a call. They are always working hard to save you time and money. Shout out to Oodle Noodle as well. Shout out to Nation Beer. Drink it up this weekend because it's going to be a beautiful one. Jay, Baggedmilk, thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Very well.
Great job on making it through the entire hour of the Real Life Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast from.